Chopping a tree is the first thing you do in any Minecraft world. We've all done it before. But what if I told you chopping the bottom log last is objectively better than any other option? To convince you, let's look at the math. Here we have a standard oak tree that's 5 logs tall. By using a diamond axe and chopping the top log last, you pick up the final log in 3.96 seconds. Compare that to chopping the bottom log last, where you pick up the final log in 3.7 seconds. That means you save roughly a quarter second every time you chop a tree. Multiply that time by an entire forest, and you can save a significant amount of time in the long run. That's what this video is about, finding little Minecraft tricks that can both make you better and allow you to complete your tasks more efficiently. I'm going to cover a wide range of topics in this video, so buckle up and let's get started. Boats are the ultimate utility item in Minecraft, since they have so many use cases for so many different things. One of its best uses is for trapping hostile mobs running at you, like Endermen or Piglins. A problem that might arise from that though is the possibility of the mob just running over top of it. This can be super finicky, but you can pretty much avoid this problem altogether by just placing a block and then the boat on top of that. By leading the mob to the boat, it is almost guaranteed to get trapped. A fortune pickaxe is one of the most important things to get in any Minecraft world, since it allows you to get essential ores so much quicker. Growing crops is also an important task early game, especially if you plan on making golden carrots. Luckily, these two things overlap, making fortune even more valuable. If you mine crops with fortune, it will give you back more on average. Combine that with being able to get more gold from mining, and fortune becomes that much more valuable to have. Movement in Minecraft is extremely important. Everyone does it all the time, so if you find ways to optimize it, you definitely should. One of the most important aspects of movement involves using blocks to your advantage. This manifests in multiple different ways, so let's go over some of them. When running, terrain typically varies in elevation. Knowing how to go up and down efficiently can save both time and health. When running uphill, you should always scout out the path that looks the best. Placing blocks under you while you run can allow you to traverse terrain faster and easier. Avoid running into the side of blocks if you can, since you lose speed when that happens. Additionally, if you're ever running up stairs or slabs, you can spam spacebar to run up them much faster. When going downhill, you should keep a few things in mind. Avoiding taking damage should be one of your top priorities, since it will force you to eat more often as a result. This can be done using MLG tactics like a water bucket, or it can be done by using blocks once again. You could place blocks under you while falling to take less damage, and this is especially useful while speedrunning. You'll have limited food in a run, so conserving it as much as possible is key. Scouting out a path downward is also useful, and planning when to utilize MLG tactics is always better than having to act on instinct. You pick up items all the time in Minecraft, but sometimes they're just slightly out of reach. There are a few ways to pick up the item from here. The first and easiest option is to place blocks to move the item towards you. This can happen both horizontally and vertically, so it's super versatile and can be used in most situations. You just have to make sure you funnel the items properly towards yourself. You do this by making the only direction the items can move be towards yourself. Water also works well in these scenarios, but blocks tend to be quicker and more consistent. Sometimes the item falls way down away from you though, so you need to use a different tactic. Obviously, you could just follow it down and pick it up, but that can take a lot of time, especially if you don't have a way to get back up quickly. When in a pinch, a fishing rod can actually be useful here. Since they can attach to entities, you can latch onto the item below you and yank it back up to your level. You might be familiar with lighting mobs and killing them to get cooked meat, but the biggest problem with that is they can be really quick when running away. Cows are the worst when it comes to this. You can easily solve this problem with a water bucket. By going near the target mob, digging a block into the ground and placing the water in it, and then lighting the mob, it will try to extinguish itself in the water block, but it can't fit. That causes it to just spin in place over the water, leaving it as an easy target for you to finish it off. When in the nether, sometimes a pesky ghast or stray blaze just won't leave you alone. Most of the time, people will try to either hide or snipe them from a distance, but there's actually a third option that may be better. Instead of killing the mob, you can just unrender them by lowering your render distance. This essentially deletes them until you raise your RD again, so feel free to use this when you need it. Having a lava bucket is always a great idea, since you can use it to both kill hostile mobs and cook passive ones. But there's another niche use case it has. Some hostile mobs are immune to lava, such as wither skeletons. And since they're immune to it, they aren't afraid of walking through it. You can use this to your advantage and make them walk off any ledge by just placing the lava bucket on the side of that ledge. Give them some time to all run off, and then be on your way. When making a portal from the nether to the overworld, your Y height matters a lot. The higher your portal, the higher your chances are of landing on the surface. To give yourself the best chance of that, build up one block while in the portal frame. This tricks Minecraft into thinking your portal is higher up than it actually is, and sometimes it can make all the difference. Creepers are one of the deadliest mobs in Minecraft, especially when they're attacking with a bunch of other mobs. If it blows up on its own, you can place a block between you and it to take virtually no damage. But if the creeper's with other mobs, you can actually use it as a weapon. The creeper will explode on its own in 1.5 seconds if it's within 3 blocks of you. But you can bypass this by lighting it with a flint and steel or fire charge. If you ignite it in a pack of mobs and run away, it becomes a moving TNT that can clear the mobs for you. Looting is very useful for getting more rare drops from mobs like gas and blazes, but they can be difficult to try and kill with a melee weapon like a sword. Luckily, Minecraft doesn't require you to use the looting sword to get the effects, it just requires you to be holding it. Using this fact, you can actually offhand a long-range weapon like a bow, shoot down a ghast, and get the looting effects from the sword. Along similar lines, ever since update 1.21, there's been a tactic called attribute swapping, where you switch from one weapon to another within one tick of attacking. This allows you to deal the damage of the first weapon while using the enchantments on the second. Some examples are using a netherite sword with a breach on a mace, or even the longer reach of a spear. You can also do this with an empty hand to try and avoid taking durability off your weapon. One of the most time-consuming things in Minecraft is inventory management. If you're like me and have hotkeys dedicated to each hotbar slot, you know how much of a pain having items in the wrong slot is. This right here is my basic hotbar layout for speedrunning, but at the beginning of the run, it looks like this. This is where your offhand can be your best tool. By hitting your offhand key while holding an item, it moves that item over. You can then press the dedicated hotkey for that item to select that slot. Press your offhand button again, and your item is now in its correct spot. You may now have a new item in your offhand, but you can keep the chain going and move that item into its correct spot. If you do this enough times, all your items will be ready for easy hotkeying. Most people tend to play Minecraft somewhere between 70 and 110 FOV, and whatever your preferred field of view is, searching for structures can always be difficult. The higher your FOV, the more you can see, and you should always try to maximize visibility when searching for something. Let's say I'm looking for a lava pool, and I'm in the middle of a desert. I should go into third person to maximize my visibility, and tilt the camera downwards to try and peek over as much terrain as possible. Combine all this together with my 110 FOV, and I give myself the best chance to spot any hidden lava pools. If you ever find yourself on fire, you want to get hungry as soon as possible, since eating food is what heals you up. Minecraft has a hidden stat called Exhaustion, and the goal is to get that stat as high as possible to be able to drop your hunger bars. You gain 0.05 exhaustion per jump, so that's why you'll see people do head hitters to try and get hunger. You can actually go one better in this scenario though, since attacking an entity adds 0.1 exhaustion per hit. So if you repeatedly punch an entity like a boat or armor stand while doing head hitters, you'll gain exhaustion super fast and be able to eat as soon as possible. If you need to head home at night but you're worried about hostile mobs, running on top of trees is actually the safest way to travel. Mobs can't spawn on leaves, so as long as you stay up on top of the trees, there shouldn't be anything to slow you down. You might have to do some parkour, but something like a dark oak forest would be super dense and would allow for easy travel. All these tricks are useful on their own, but if you can apply as many of these types of tactics to your game as possible, you'll see a definite improvement across the board. No one trick alone can automatically make you good at Minecraft. Instead, it's a constant learning journey that causes you to gradually pick up little things here and there. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and if you want to learn how to better avoid dying in Minecraft, click the video right here. Thanks for watching.